The top 1% of retirees need $4 million. You probably don't have it. Only 1.8% do. And I know what you're thinking. That's insane. That's for rich people. Wrong. This used to be achievable for anyone with a decent job and discipline. But the gap got wider, and most people have no idea how far behind they actually are. I'm going to show you the EXSET, numbers that separate the 1.8% from the 98.2%, where they actually put their money, the 3 layers they build that everyone else ignores, and why you still have time, but not much. Quick note, this is educational content analyzing Federal Reserve wealth data, not financial advice. Always consult a qualified professional before making investment decisions. Now here's what you need to understand. $4 million net worth. That's the line. According to Federal Reserve data from 2026, that's what you need to be in the top 1% of retirees. Not $4 million in cash. Net worth. Your house, retirement accounts, investments, everything. According to the Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, only 3.4% of American households have this much. But according to retirement research data for retirees aged 65 and older, only 1.8%. Now compare that to reality. Federal Reserve data shows the median retiree aged 65 to 74 has $200,000 saved, not $4,200,000. That's a 20-to-1 gap. The top 1% have literally 20 times more than the middle. Now here's where this gets insane. To even hit the top 5% of retirees, you need $2.3 million in just retirement accounts, not total. Net worth, just 401 KS and IRAs. A top 5% have that before you count their house, before you count their brokerage accounts, before you count their rental properties or business equity. $2.3 million in tax-deferred accounts alone. And here's the kicker. Most people think they're doing fine because they have a paid-off house and some savings. They're not broke, but they're not even close to the top 10%. They're house rich and cash poor, and they're about to discover that. Retirement on $30,000 a year is not what the brochure promised. So what the hell happened? How did we go from a country where a decent job meant a decent retirement to this? The answer is going to piss you off. Here's what changed. Bureau of Labor Statistics data. In 1980, 38% of private sector workers had a pension, guaranteed income for life. You worked 30 years, you got a check every month until you died. By 2020, 11%. Pensions disappeared. Companies switched to 401k and called it freedom. What it really meant. Your retirement is now your problem. And here's the kicker. The people who designed this system, they have pensions. Congress has pensions. CEOs have golden parachutes. They transferred this risk to you while keeping the guarantees for themselves. But here's the thing. Nobody taught you how to manage your retirement. They just handed you a 401k enrollment form and said, good luck. No training, no strategy. Just pick some funds from this list and hope for the best. I've been analyzing Federal Reserve wealth data for years. Every time I look at these numbers, the gap gets wider. The system got rigged in 2 ways. First, wages stagnated. Real wages for middle-income workers barely moved since the 1970s. You work harder, produce more, and your paycheck buys the same stuff it did 40 years ago. Second, asset prices exploded. Remember that $4 million threshold? Here's why so few people hit it. If you own stocks, real estate, or businesses, you got rich. If you only had a salary and a savings account, you got crushed. The Federal Reserve data shows this perfectly. The top 1% put 50% of their wealth in taxable investments, rental properties, and business equity, income-producing assets. The average retiree, 80% is locked in their house, and a tiny 401k. The 1% have assets that pay them, dividends, rental checks, business distributions. Everyone else has a house they can't sell. In a 401k, they're terrified to touch. Let me give you a concrete example. Meet Susan. She's 67 years old, retired teacher. Worked 35 years in the same district. Good pension, right? Wrong. Her state has a pension, but it's only $1,800 a month. She has a paid-off house worth $450,000, a 401k, with $280,000 because she contributed the minimum for 20 years. Social Security pays her $2,100 a month. Total net worth, $730,000. On paper, Susan's in the 60th percentile, better than half of all retirees. And she's worried she'll run out of money in 10 years. Why? Because her monthly income is $3,900. Her property taxes are $900 a month. Her health care costs another $600. She's got $2,400 left for everything else: food, utilities, gas, insurance, maintenance. She can't travel. She can't help her grandkids with college. She's one major expense away from financial panic. Now meet David. Same age as Susan, same career length, different choices. David started maxing his 401k at age 25 instead of 35, just 10 years earlier. He bought a duplex in his 30s and rented out half, then bought another rental in his 40s. David has $1.2 million in retirement accounts, $800,000 in real estate equity, $600,000 in a taxable brokerage account, total $2.6 million. Susan and David had the same job, similar salaries, but David will die with 3.5 times more wealth. Why? He started earlier. He owned assets that produced income, and he didn't put everything in one basket. So here's what's going to happen if you don't fix this. According to the Social Security Trustees report, in 2033, the trust fund runs dry, 7 years from now. When that happens, benefits get cut by 23% automatically. Not maybe. Not if politicians fail to act. Automatically. It's already written into the law. If you're getting $2,100 a month today, that becomes $1,617. That's a $483 monthly cut. $5,796 a year. Gone. And Medicare isn't safe either. Premiums keep rising faster than inflation. The average person on Medicare now pays over $2,000 a year just for Part B and D premiums. That doesn't include deductibles, doesn't include copays, doesn't include the stuff Medicare doesn't cover, like dental and vision. You're going to pay more for less coverage. No, this sounds dark. Stay with me. There is a way to fix this. I'll show you the exact system in a few minutes. But first, you need to understand how bad the problem actually is. Let me show you what this actually looks like. 2 scenarios. Same person, different choices. Meet Jennifer. She starts saving at age 25, maxes her 401k every year. 7% average returns. By age 65, she has $2.1 million in retirement accounts alone, not counting her house, not counting Social Security, just her 401k and IRA. Now meet Mark. Mark makes the same salary as Jennifer, but he doesn't start saving seriously until age 45. He's busy paying off student loans, buying a house, raising kids. By 65, Mark has $480,000. Jennifer retires comfortably. She withdraws 4% a year from her accounts. That's $84,000. Add Social Security. She's living on over $100,000 a year in retirement. Jennifer will be in that 1.8%. Mark? He withdraws $19,200 a year from his 401k. Add Social Security. He's living on $44,000. Mark works until 70 and still worries about money. Mark won't make it to the 1.8%. The only difference? Jennifer started 20 years earlier. That's it. Same income. Same job. Different start date. Now here's where it gets really dark. The people who hit $4 million aren't smarter than you. They're not geniuses. They didn't inherit it. They just did 3 things consistently. They started before age 30. They automated their savings so they never saw the money. They invested in assets, not just savings accounts. Every year the monthly requirement becomes impossible. To hit $1 million by age 65, if you start at 25, you need to save $380 a month. Start at 35, you need $820 a month. Start at 45, you need $2,400 a month. Same goal, different timeline. Math doesn't care about your excuses. But here's the good news. If you start now, you're not too late. Let me show you why. Here's what nobody tells you. You don't need $4 million to retire well. That's the top 1%. What you do need is a system. And it's simple. Not easy, but simple. The 1.8% who make it to $4 million follow a 3-layer wealth structure. Everyone else tries to make one account do everything. And it doesn't work. Here's what you need to understand. Layer 1 is your tax-deferred foundation, your 401k and IRA. In 2026, you can contribute $23,500 to a 401k. If you're 50 or older, you get catch-up contributions. That's $31,000 total. This is your base. You max this first. Before vacations, before a new car, before anything. Why? Because this money grows tax-free until you withdraw it. And if your employer matches contributions, that's free money. If you're 45 years old right now with $100,000 saved and you max your 401k, from now until 65, you'll have $1.2 million at 7% returns. That's the foundation. But it's not enough to hit $2 million or $3 million. For that, you need Layer 2. Layer 2 is taxable investments, a regular brokerage account. After you max your retirement accounts, you put money here. No contribution limits, no withdrawal penalties, total flexibility. The top 5% of retirees have 30% of their wealth in taxable accounts. The average retiree has 5%. This is your bridge. Want to retire at 60? You can't touch your 401k without penalties until 59 and a half. But you can withdraw from a brokerage account anytime. No penalties, no restrictions. You just pay capital gains tax on the profits. Layer 3 is alternative assets, rental real estate, small business equity, private investments. This is where the top 1% get 50% of their wealth. You don't need this to retire. But if you want to hit $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, you need income beyond your salary. One paid-off rental property generating $1,500 a month is $18,000 a year. At a 4% withdrawal rate, that income stream is worth $450,000. Let me show you the math. You're 40 years old. You earn $80,000 a year. You have $50,000 saved. Here's what happens. You max your 401k That's $23,500 a year. You put another $5,000 in a brokerage account. Total saved $28,500 annually. At 7% returns, by age 65, you have $1.8 million. Add Social Security at $2,100 month. That's $25,200 a year. You can withdraw 4% from your accounts. That's $72,000 annually. Total income, $97,200 a year. You're not in the top 1%, but you're comfortable. You can travel. You can help your grandkids. You're not doing math in your head before buying coffee. Now I know what some of you are thinking. I can't save $28,500 a year. Fine. Save $15,000. By 65, you'll have $950,000. That's still more than 70% of retirees. I'm already 55. Too late. Wrong. If you're 55 with $300,000 saved and you max your 401k for 10 years, you'll have $900,000 at 65. Better than 65% of retirees. Is it ideal? No. Should you have started earlier? Yes. But starting today beats starting next year. And starting next year beats never starting at all. Here's exactly what to do. 5 steps. You can start 3 of them in the next hour. Step 1. Calculate your gap. Figure out where you actually stand. Add up everything. 401k, IRA, brokerage accounts, home equity. Subtract your debts. That's your current net worth. Now multiply your desired annual retirement income by 25. That's your target. Want $60,000 a year in retirement? You need $1.5 million? Why 25? Because of the 4% rule. You withdraw 4% a year. Your money lasts 30 plus years. Now, subtract Social Security. The average benefit in 2026 is $2,100 a month. That's $25,200 a year. So if you want $60,000 total, you need your accounts to generate $34,800. Multiply that by 25. You need $870,000 in investment accounts. Common mistake, assuming your house counts as income. It doesn't. Unless you sell it or get a reverse mortgage, your house produces 0 cash flow. Step 2. Automate first, not last. Set up automatic transfers the day after your paycheck hits, not the end of the month. The top 5% automate. Contributions. Everyone else says, I'll save what's left over. There's never anything left over. Start with 15% of your gross income. Can't afford that? Start with 10%. Starting beats perfect. If you're 50 or older, you get catch-up. Contributions. That's an extra $7,500 for your 401k. An extra $1,000 for your IRA. Use it. Step 3. Index funds, not individual stocks. Invest in broad market index funds. S&P 500. Total Stock Market Index. Target date funds. Don't pick stocks. Don't time the market. Don't try to be smarter than Wall Street. The top 1% have boring portfolios. 60% stocks, 30% bonds, 10% alternatives. Nothing sexy. Historically, over 30-year periods, the S&P 500 has averaged around 10% annual returns. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results, but these are the historical numbers. You don't need to beat the market. You need to be in the market. Step 4. Build layer 2 after you max layer 1. Once you max your 401k, open a taxable brokerage account. Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab. Doesn't matter which one. They're all fine. Put $500 each month there. Same index funds you're using in your 401k. This is your early retirement fund, your emergency backup, your bridge between retirement and age 59 and a half. If you're thinking, I can't afford $500 a month, ask yourself this. Do you spend $500 a month on restaurants, subscriptions, and stuff you don't need? You can afford it. You just need to decide it's a priority. Step 5. Review every 6 months. Set a calendar reminder for June 1st and December 1st. Review your balances. Increase your contributions by 1 to 2% every year. The top 1% don't set it, can forget it. They review quarterly. You only need to review twice a year. Every raise you get, increase your 401k contribution by half. The raise amount. Got a 4% raise? Increase your 401k by 2%. You won't miss the money. Your lifestyle inflates by 2% instead of 4%, and that extra 2% compounds for decades. So here's what I want you to take away from this. 3 things. First, the top 1% of retirees have $4 million in net worth. But you don't need $4 million to retire well. You need a system. 3 layers. Tax-deferred accounts first. Taxable accounts second. Alternative assets, if you want to go beyond. Comfortable. Second, every year you wait costs you exponentially. Starting at 25 versus 35 is a $700,000 difference by age 65. Same contributions, same returns. Just 10 years earlier. Time is your biggest asset. Are your biggest enemy. You choose. Third, the gap isn't intelligence. It's not luck. It's automation. The top 5% automate everything. Everyone else tries to save what's left. There's never anything left. Remember that 1.8% from the beginning? The 1.8% who have $4 million? That's not because the other 98.2% are lazy. It's because 98.2% never had a plan. Or they started too late. Or they treated savings like a suggestion instead of a requirement. The 1.8% started running at mile zero. The 98.2% are still standing at the starting line, looking at their phones. You still have time. But the clock is running. Start today.